Hi and welcome. I'm here to talk a little bit about your reading project. I want to make sure that you know the steps that I want you to go through. So, when you're looking at the actual project, the first thing you're going to give is a San Diego quick check. And what I'm really hoping that you'll do is, as you look at it, um, you're going to give it and come up with an instructional, independent, and frustrational level. And what that tells you is that once you decide, so say the student is independent at first grade, instructional at second and third, so their highest level of instructional is third grade, and where they are at frustrational is fourth grade, you're at that third grade level where they're instructional. So what you're going to do then is go back to the reading assessment project page. And what I want you to do is scroll down, and you would look down at the correlation sheet that is attached. And what I want you to see is that we said that they were instructional at third grade, right? They were instructional at third grade and second grade. So somewhere in here is where they're going to be instructional. And you need to figure out for sure, because that, again, that was a ballpark estimate of their ability to call words. It's not telling you if they can comprehend what they're reading. And that is what we really want, is their ability to know where their word calling, their decoding skills are, and where their comprehension match up. That's really their instructional level. That's where they're reading. They might be able to word call at a fifth grade level accurately. But when you ask them questions or the ability to retell a story, it may only be at a first or second grade level. That's really where we're going to work with them. That's their true instructional level, because that's where they're able to read the words and comprehend to make meaning. That's their instructional level. So that's what we're actually looking for. So again, the San Diego Quick Check is just a kind of a ballpark guess for a student that you don't really know all that well. So we've got somewhere between second and third grade, right? That we're assuming they're going to be instructional. So I'm going to, at that point then, after I've watched them, if they whipped through those words, I'm going to be, or if they were very careful and had to sound them out and then put them together, that would help you know. If they were really confident, I might start at a higher level. If they're not so confident, I'm going to start. So I might start at a J, just because that's where I'm going to give my first running record, because I'm going to see where I think they're going to fall. You always want to err on the side of caution, because you don't want to stress the child out by having them go backwards. It never feels good to be seen as not competent. So it's easier to start low, where it's a little easier, and then move up with them, building their confidence. Always start a little lower than you think that they're going to be. Um, so I would maybe start with the J. So if I'm seeing that, that's an early second grade. So I'm somewhere between a J and a P-esque letters, right? So if I go back up to what requirements I have for my assignment that I've given you, is that we're knowing that J and P on A and Z levels, that child is somewhere in this range of a transitional reader. So what at a minimum you must give, and again, minimum that I'm requiring for this assignment, you can always do more. That's great. But at a minimum, you're going to give running records. And I'm going to say that you're going to give a minimum of 3 running records, because you need to find out, or I'm hoping you'll find out, where they're frustrational, what's too hard, where they're instructional and what's their best instructional level, and then where they're independent. Now, if you start on J and they're instructional there, I'm not asking you to back up. You're going to assume, right, that they're independent. Just say, I did not want to take them further back, but they're independent. You can, but in interest of time, I really am most interested in instructional and frustrational. Now, if you started with J and that's where they're independent, great. Jump up a couple levels then. And so you may only have to give 3 if it's like JKL, right? And you just went up. Most likely you might have to give another 1 or 2, right? So you're going to give those running records and the retell, which I have posted on on Canvas. Anything I missed, please let me know. So you're going to give those running records, the oral retell, asking them to retell. And again, if they're struggling with retelling, you can give prompts, but then note that. And then there's some questions that go along with it, some comprehension questions, if you're using the reading A to Z text. If you're using something else, let me know, and I'd be happy to help you and talk you through and find you some materials if you need something else. Then you're also going to give them the word study inventory. That is found in Richard's 2009 page 48. And let me pull that up. I think I got it. Awesome. As you probably all figured out, I'm not the most tech savvy kind of person. I'm learning, as most of us are right now. So this chapter is really from her first book, and this chapter really sets it up nice that it's all set into one assessment chapter. That's why I also posted this. And I also know some of you are still waiting on your actual book. And I'll explain more as you get it. But she said, and I said page 48. So let me go through. By the way, if you have a lower child, if you're working with a lower child, here are all of the assessments that you would give for an emergent reader. So they're listed here and then given here. A writing sample. Here's more about running records in there. Great if you want to read it. Again, you're looking for their independent, their instructional, and frustrational. And that's when you come up with, say, there's 55 words or 60 words in the passage. They got 5 wrong, 5 errors. Really, they came out to 92%. I did the math. So that would mean that passage, that they're instructional at that passage. It's between 90 and 94. Again, when you're working with students, what they can do independently is what we want them doing on their own. Where you're going to do instruction, where the work's a little hard for them, but with some support, and that's where we're going to make the most gains, is between 90 and 94. We call it the sweet spot, kind of. If it's below 90%, if they're making out of those 60 words and they got more than 6 errors, they'd be below 90%. It means that it's too hard. They're going to spend too much time. You could read aloud or share it, or that might be something that they work on, but it's not something where they're going to make the most meaning from. So we're looking for that instructional area. So you're going to analyze all the errors. You also want to get time, so words per minute, and this is kind of giving you a chart for 2nd grade through 6th grade. If the child's lower than that, a 1st grader or a kindergartner, please let me know. Or if you have a child that's above 6th grade, I do have a chart that I will post. I won't make a note to myself. And then, so read over this information. But when you come to page 48, okay, here it is. It's really a spelling test, okay? But there were some words in there that I had that I wanted you to use. But if you look at it, the first word is span. I know it's a little hard to see here. Span, sled, chip. So you would do your basic span. A span is the distance between 2 points. Span. What you're really looking for is, and if you look, it's the first 5 words go through the short A, the short E, the short I, the short O, and so you're getting a feel of, do they know those short vowels? They also are, do they know the digraphs, the consonant, what is 2 letters that make 1 sound? So CH, 2 letters, 1 sound, ch. So are they able to recognize those and write those? Same thing with, so as you go down, you do not have to give all 28 words. If you have given the first 10 to 15, and let's be real, they're getting none correct, stop and note, if they get more than 3 or 5 in a row wrong, please stop. Give the first 10 for sure, but stop if they've gotten the majority wrong. You've got enough information. You've got the information that they don't know their short vowels. You're going to possibly know as they can get the beginning sound, they miss the ending sounds. That's the information that you're going to add to your report. That's what I'm looking for. I hope that makes sense. So you would give, at a minimum, this kind of a spelling test where you're really looking at, do they know their sounds and which sounds do they know? And if you look at it, it's very sequential. and at a minimum 3 running records and the San Diego Quick Check, unless you have students who are below the are in the emergent level, then you're going to give those other assessments. And if you do, please contact me, and if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to walk through. That being said, once you have found out their level, the next step and we'll talk about that when we get to the guided reading lesson, but you're going to use that to pick out a level to instruct a child with. Hope this was helpful. If you have any further questions, please feel free to contact me. I'm willing to Zoom or talk to you on the phone or help you through the process. I want you to be successful. Thank you and enjoy your day.